I'm Steve Mianti here doing the junkyard crawl in rural Vermont with a 1958 old Fiesta hardtop station wagon. Now, the Fiesta was a hardtop wagon, which is a very unusual thing. Most wagons were sedans, and again, four doors is very elegant, more stylish really than a sedan ever could be. So with that said, 58 was also a weird year for Oldsmobile, because first year for quad headlights, although seen on this one, they're rotten. Trouble with these things that salt and sand would accumulate behind the headlight bucket and rot the top of the fender, as we see here, but take my word, first year again for quad headlights on Oldsmobiles. Most of Detroit by 58 had gone to quad headlights, which were more modern and gave better illumination at nighttime, because the single beam headlights, the inside of the beam had to be responsible for high beam and low beam, whereas on these, high beams and low beams were, each bulb had its own task, so they could be aimed differently. So actually a safety feature and a styling feature too, made the car look lower and wider. So with that said, 58 also was the big year for chrome trim, and a lot of people criticize these 58 Oldsmobiles for having probably the most chrome of any 50s car. Everything was drenched in chrome, massive front bumper, nothing to do with safety at all, no impact absorbing stuff. That would happen in the 70s, but this is just a massive railroad tie of a bumper made in chrome. Extruded aluminum grill right there, not chrome. That's aluminum. It's plated, but it doesn't rust, which is cool. That's a good thing about aluminum. No engine in this. This would have had the 371 V8, possibly with J2 triple carburation. Don't know, it's gone. That was possible, the J2 motor in one of these things. The unusual and little known fact is that these cars, Oldsmobiles and certain other GM cars and Chryslers, left-hand lug nuts on the driver's side. There it is right there. Not just a Chrysler thing. There's an L stamped into the stud so that people don't confuse the tightening. It's lefty tighty, righty loosey on these things. When you see the L, don't do that. You'll strip it, and you'd have to be in a coma to have something like that occur. But anyway, left-hand lug nuts on the driver's side on these, and also on, I think, Pontiacs as well at this point in time. And again, the chrome just doesn't quit on these things. There it is right there, on the side. So the Oldsmobile rocket motif in effect. And here on the side, kind of weird, looks like either a harpsichord or sheet music. These are four horizontal chrome strips right there. Again, most people criticize these cars as being the epitome of, grotesque Detroit styling, with all the chrome just dripping off this thing. And again, post-war, optimism was in full-fledged with this thing. And kind of a cool thing, you look at these cars, you see details. Right here's a sticker from New York World's Fair 1964-65. So somebody took the family truckster to the show and probably enjoyed it. The car full of 6 people just going to the show and talking about the new Chrysler turbine car they saw there, and maybe even the Ford Mustang, which would have been a big thing at the Ford Rotunda. And World's Fair, the car was there, the sticker was bought there and applied shortly thereafter, probably on this car. So before this SUV took over, family trucksters like this were the thing that people, post-war families, baby boomer families, used to move their families around in style, and big style, with the hardtop roof on this station wagon. Also the roof, more chrome up here. These aren't really, they're ornamental. They don't really do anything, but they're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, these chrome streaks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these things on the top of the car. And the party trick on these is how the gas filler is hiding under a tail fan right here. Gas filler right there. Got to wonder how many thousands of gallons this thing sucked down over its lifetime, but it's kind of cool, just kind of hides in plain sight right there. And getting back to these things, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, no, 9 of these things right here going all across the roof of the car. Again, Detroit Suds couldn't get enough chrome back in the 1950s. 1958 was the epitome of that stuff. Also, the rear bumper, massive with chrome. And the exhaust tips came out here. The exhaust right out of this right here. Oh, those are lights. Okay, down low. Okay, stylized exhaust. This doesn't have it. Some of these actually had a stylized exhaust outlet that came through the bumper and discolored it over time. But with that said, chrome everywhere, even on tail. These little pieces of gingerbread right here are chrome plated. They do nothing, but they let you know that you're driving or riding in a very expensive Oldsmobile station wagon. Of course, the tailgate comes down on this, well, actually up here, and then down on the bottom. So it's a two-piece, two-way kind of a situation. It's got car arthritis, so I won't try. But anyway, that's the story of how 1958 Oldsmobile was probably one of the most grotesque, I guess, Wurlitzer jukebox styled automobiles on the road in 1958. Great example of the breed right here. Well, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve Maggs YouTube channel and come back tomorrow for more Junkyard Crawl. Thanks for watching.